self-sabotage in one area, you're also sabotaging your growth, your peace, your resources, your abundance, your prosperity in another area. The path that you're meant to be on is the one not with the least bumps, not with the least obstacles, but with the more learnings, the more curves, the more opportunities to gain more skills, acquisition of resources, metaphysical and spiritual, financial and emotional and mental resources. When you're caught in a fork in the road, always go with your gut. The truest aspect of you, allowing the truest aspect of you to really be shown, and when you are in a beautiful, expansive space, and when you perceive the expansion and not create limitation, that is when the world opens up to you. Because you are the one that can create prison doors, prison bars. And you are also the one with the key. So in my short forms, I've been talking a lot about self-sabotage and why self-sabotage exists, the loops that continue to occur of self-sabotage, and how self-sabotage is the ultimate form of self-betrayal, because you're essentially gaslighting yourself into not doing something that you're actually wanting to do. When you self-sabotage in one area, you're also sabotaging your growth, your peace, your resources, your abundance, your prosperity in another area. This entire universe is give and take. You cannot receive anything for nothing. And that is not to say that, hey, you should manipulate the universe or manipulate other people into giving you what you want, because you are going to have your desires inevitably. And if that's one way to do it, then that is a way, and a way you should, but that is your ego trying to control the outcome. But when you give yourself the true space to determine what you want, why are you desiring what you're desiring, and line up with it as much as possible, that even if there was someone in your life that you knew could potentially help you or give it to you, you would allow things to move naturally. You don't force, you flow with life. And when you're self-sabotaging, you're trying to force an outcome or avoid an outcome. And also from an emotional congruency standpoint, self-sabotage is the easiest way to use more of your energy. It takes more energy to avoid a problem and not find a solution compared to focusing on the solution, lining up with the solution, and allowing that to play out. That's usually the easiest path. Right now, we're here by still waters. why do I say still when we see the ripples in it? Well, stillness can still contain movement, and movement can contain stillness. Being able to do both sides of this coin is very anchoring for your spiritual journey. When you're able to find stillness in movement, that means you can gently move your body, take a run, take a walk, but never leave your body. Always being with yourself throughout the entire walk, throughout the entire movement experience, where you feel every cell, every muscle that has to come together and work as one, or work against another for the greater good. That's wild, because every single muscle has an antagonist and a protagonist. So muscles in the same muscle group are working against each other, but for the greater good of the group. Thinking of your quads and your hamstrings, they're both your thigh. One's your anterior thigh and one is your posterior thigh. And so both of these are this is one part of your body, but the groups of muscles that are there, they are working against each other. But them working against each other helps you run a marathon, helps you do a squat, helps you take a walk. So anytime things are seeming to be working against you, anytime something is seeming to work against you, know that for the greater good, that it's all going to work out for the greater good of all, including yourself, and that you benefiting does not inhibit someone else's benefit, and it doesn't inhibit yours by someone else benefiting. Stillness and movement. Movement and stillness is still having a calm demeanor, still being in flow with the universe, not allowing stagnation to creep up, whether that's emotional stagnation, thought form stagnation, grace stagnation, peace stagnation. Are you stagnating the flow of grace towards yourself and towards others in your life? Are you stagnating the flow of peace towards yourself and towards others? The stagnation is the mother of all disease. Emotional stagnation creates disease in the body if it's chronic enough. Stillness in movement, and movement in stillness. This is the pinnacle philosophy of somatic healing. Being with your body, no matter what your body is doing. And the best way to do this and be with your body, be in your body, is by connecting with your breath. Connecting with your breath. Look, I have someone who wants to be in the video. Hold on. Peace. This is a scared video signifying transformation. It is a powerful God in ancient Kemet. The stillness you seek is very much so accessible to you. Being in the stillness, really, ooh, y'all saw that? That's such a blessing. So when we see nature just frolicking and giving life and just be in flow, in communion with the current of nature, the current of life. This is cyclic, this is circular, this is spiraling. There's no stagnation. Stagnation only comes in straight lines, and straight lines are never in nature. Straight lines are always man-made. Straight lines are always man-made. So if straight lines are always man-made, that means that we as humans are creating our own limitations because we are looking at things in our life linearly, which inherently is built for stagnation, and not looking at aspects in our life as spirals. So that means time, looking at time as a spiral. That means relationships, looking at relationships as a spiral. Looking at your past, present, and future as a spiral. Whew. I had a spa day today, y'all. So I love bathhouses. I highly recommend that you go to Korean bathhouses at least once a month. Ideally every week. That's like top tier. Every day, your skin's gonna feel like a baby's booty. But giving yourself space to feel, that's the key. Space to feel, because the more that you allow your body to speak its truth, the more that you're able, your confidence and courage and self-compassion rises to speak your truth towards the outer world, because you've already listened to the truth of the internal world. That is the whole point of somatic healing. Whether that's through stretch therapy, whether that's through Reiki energy sessions, whether that is through divine yoga flows, mobility movement, walking, running, basketball, volleyball, tennis. Everything is spiritual, everything is sacred if you set that intention. If you set that high frequency, that pattern of alignment that everything else around you has to get on. It has to get on, because you are the focal point of your universe. There was someone online sharing with me, like, what I was sharing was really selfish, because I'm only talking about how an individual, a person, is the center of their world, and that I'm not thinking about anyone else. But actually, it's not. If we had more humans willing to give themselves love, willing to water themselves, willing to choose their joy, strengthen their craft, influence their skills in certain ways, open their heart, embody the Christ consciousness frequency, nations would shift, communities of people would shift, cultures would shift overnight. Because like we said, time is a spiral. And we all influence each other. This is the energy grid that we're living in. And this energy grid, we each have a little node in the grid. So what are you emanating with that node? What are you amplifying with that node? That is your earth mission. However you do it, that's up to you. That's up to your soul, alignment, contract, karma, all that good stuff. But that's what you're here to do. I love you all. You are me. I am you. And we only live a life that is internally designed and reflected in our outer world. with knowledge that we are the gods and goddesses of our lives. And the more that we can open up our hearts to love and nourish and cherish ourselves, we can love and nourish and cherish another, each other, our brothers and our sisters all together. Because we're not separate, we're just unique. And when we keep honoring our uniqueness, and when we're in community still honoring our individualism and uniqueness, that amplifies us as a whole, as a human species in the cosmic family. Like, we gotta start thinking bigger. We got to. Like, our existence depends on it. Our incarnations as a soul depends on it. So we can have the option to incarnate and to do anything in the entire cosmos, let alone this planet. But I hope you're good. I really do. And the reason why I share what I share online is not just for you, it's for me as well. I'm speaking from my higher self to myself that's conscious beyond the screen. And the self that's conscious of me beyond the screen shows the depths of my subconscious mind. And so as I reflect, we're traveling places. We're traveling, we're quantum leaping, we're moving through different dimensions. There's so many flying fish in this river as well. We're taking flight. We're shifting frequencies. So remember that you are loved. You are love. You're here to love. And your embodiment is much needed at this time. This space, this moment, this expansion, this quantum grid. You are very much so needed. Much love. Peace.